So Maryland Heights, right? It's this cool suburb in St. Louis, and if you're moving to the area or if you're gonna be working in Maryland Heights, I'm sure you're wondering, okay, cool, what does it look like? What does it feel like? What should I know if I'm moving to the area? Is it West County? Is it North County? Who knows? In this video, we're gonna answer those questions. I'm gonna go over what it's like and what you should know before moving here. So let's get right to it. Hey, welcome to the channel. My name is Jacob Peistrup. So, Maryland Heights, it definitely doesn't come up in conversation as much with people moving to the area, not, compared to some of the other more popular suburbs. So, sure, not a ton of people moving to St. Louis are moving to Maryland Heights per se. But I'll tell you this, there's a lot more people moving to St. Louis who are working in Maryland Heights because Maryland Heights is home to a lot of companies. There are a lot of big employers in Maryland Heights because it's got a lot of corporate and commercial space going on. So maybe you're not someone interested in living in Maryland Heights, but if you're moving here and you're working in Maryland Heights, either way, we're going to talk all about that in this video. And by the way, if you're moving to Maryland Heights or somewhere else in St. Louis, wherever it is, if you want some help with that process, buying a house, buying a condo, everything with that, send us an email or just send us a text message. My team and I are licensed realtors in Missouri. That is what we love. That is why we make these videos. We love helping our clients who are moving to St. Louis and just helping them with that process. So if you want to work together, let's get in touch. Contact info is right there. So I don't know that I would say Maryland Heights is West County, and I don't know that I would say it's North County. Like, it really does not fit in either one of them the way I see it. And I'll tell you this, people in North County will tell you it's part of West County, and people in West County will tell you Maryland Heights is North County. So like, it really doesn't fit in either one. It's kind of like a mixed bag. So when I'm uploading this video on YouTube and I'm deciding, is this gonna go on the West County playlist or the North County playlist? That's a big question. I'm probably just gonna put it on both and make everyone mad. I'm fine with that. But in all seriousness, it really doesn't quite fit in with all of West County or all of North County. And I mean, it is both north and west. It's just kind of up there in the corner. But you could argue the case that it's West County and also that it's North County. Like, I can see both sides. It's really not gonna be as expensive as some of the higher end parts of West County, and it's not as low in price compared to some of the parts in North County. Just depends on where you go. You have a lot of variety with the neighborhoods. Overall, you'll see some smaller homes and more reasonable prices in Maryland Heights compared to West County. So anywhere in West County like Chesterfield, Town and Country, Frontenac, Creve, Coeur, if you want to include that, they're just higher in price, more expensive. It's tougher to break in and get the same amount of house for a certain budget. Maryland Heights, you just get more. You see some older houses, some smaller ones, but really just not as high of a priced area compared to some of the parts of West County. But it is typically higher than North County, so it's kind of in the middle. So there's a lot of variety with the houses in Maryland Heights, and a big thing bringing people to the Maryland Heights area is their job. Whatever they do for a living, there is a lot going on in Maryland Heights. There are the big brand new office buildings. You will see a lot of this commercial space, but you'll also see warehouses, industrial space, manufacturing. Like, there are all sorts of companies located here. So there's a lot of employers and a lot of people to the area that are coming here because their work is somewhere around Maryland Heights. And a lot of it is kind of in this section around Westport Plaza where you just have a lot of this commercial and corporate and industrial space in Maryland Heights. Let me tell you a story. One of my first adult jobs was in Maryland Heights. It was for a window company up there, and it was the first sales-based job that I had. It was for a window company, and the job turned out to be door-to-door sales. It was door knocking. Let me tell you how much I did not enjoy that. It was not my thing. I did not like it. I lasted a grand total of 3 weeks there, so that was my first, definitely more adult job. And it's a miracle, I tell you, that I ended up in real estate sales later on, because that was my first and only sales-based experience prior to real estate. So you can call me a quitter because I couldn't make it a month at that job, but I can assure you, selling real estate via YouTube, way better than selling windows door to door in the middle of July. Like, you really do have a lot of companies in Maryland Heights across all sectors, all industries. There's a lot going on. And Westport Plaza is this really nice area of all the commercial space in Maryland Heights. You have a couple of nice restaurants, nice hotels, and you have the headquarters for Worldwide Technology. So they have their big fancy glass building right there in Westport Plaza. If not the biggest, they're one of the biggest privately held companies in St. Louis, I can tell you that. Don't quote me on it being the biggest one, but they're up there. They're a really big employer in the area. Same with Edward Jones. They have their North Campus up in Maryland Heights. There's a lot going on. So there are some really big companies out there, and there are, obviously all the smaller ones, kind of the mom and pop operations. You got a lot going on for office space and for all the companies in Maryland Heights. One of the founders of Worldwide Technology has this gigantic house in Ladue. Every time I drive past, I'm like, man, to say this gentleman is a successful businessman is a massive understatement. Like, it is insane. Another big part of Maryland Heights you'll hear about is the casino. So Hollywood Casino is right there, all the way on the edge of Maryland Heights. It's on the river, and you have the Hollywood Casino amphitheater right there with it. So this will be the place for a lot of concerts, music events, like all sorts of stuff. They will have a lot of performances at the amphitheater, which is right there off of 141. And it's right next to Creve Lake. So speaking of Creve Lake, if you live in Maryland Heights, definitely check it out. It is a huge lake and park. There are tons and tons of walking trails around the lake and through the woods. You have soccer fields right there. There's the St. Louis Rowing Club right there on the lake. Golf course right there, like a lot of stuff going on. It's a really beautiful park and it's huge. So if you want to take a loop around the lake, it is huge. It is really cool. You can rent a kayak, rent a paddleboard, spend a day, just kind of go out there, float around. It's a cool place to check out. I've been there a bunch. It gets busy on the weekends, especially when the weather is nice. You got to go either early morning or just sometime during the weekdays. Creve Lake, I love it. I have a lot of memories there. That was actually during COVID, 2020, like everything in my life came to a grinding halt when things shut down. And I'm the kind of person who, I couldn't work the way I liked. I couldn't live the way I liked. I'm used to going to the gym 5 days a week. Couldn't do any of that. So what I started doing, I would go to Creve Lake every day, every morning. I would just do a loop around the lake, take a walk, take a breather. And no one else was around because no one was outside during, the lockdown. And then St. Louis County shut down all the public parks because people were being stupid during the lockdown. That got shut down. I'm like, great. The one thing I looked forward to every day, the walk in the park, the walk around the lake, couldn't do that. But since it's opened back up, like last year, it's been great. I love it during the summertime. It is one of my favorite parks in St. Louis. Now, let's talk about the houses if you're moving and gonna be living in Maryland Heights. The real estate, what's it like? So like I mentioned before, it is not a ridiculously expensive part of town. It's not as high in price as Creve or Chesterfield right next door, but it's usually higher than some of the parts of North County. So usually their median comes in somewhere around 240 to 260,000. So let's just call it 250,000 is the median in Maryland Heights right now. That sounds about right. I would say between 200 and $400,000 is where you have a lot of homes being sold here. And then really the max I would say is usually 600,000 or 700,000, nothing crazy. There's like $1.5 million deal right now. That's it. Like really between 200 and 600,000 is where you have a lot of homes in Maryland Heights. You'll see some new construction and new development going on, not as much as Chesterfield and definitely not as much as across the river in O'Fallon, Lake St. Louis, anywhere like that where it's just exploding with growth. So Maryland Heights, nothing crazy. If you want, you can take the Page extension across the river, go check it out in St. Charles, Weldon Spring, O'Fallon. Much more new stuff happening right there. There's a few newer built communities in Maryland Heights, but not a ton. And if you're not interested in buying a house, you will definitely see a lot of options for condos. So there are a lot of cute condominium communities in Maryland Heights, definitely lower in price in pretty much most cases. I mean, really between $100,000 and $200,000 for a condo in Maryland Heights, you will definitely find that. So really, whatever your preference, house, condo, you'll find it in Maryland Heights. And if you want to spend $100,000 to $200,000 on a house, you'll see some of these smaller neighborhoods, probably up north, a little bit north in Maryland Heights, smaller homes, smaller lots, lower in price, and then some of the more expensive ones you'll see, a lot of them are around Creve Coeur Lake, so the road will take you up kind of the hill because there's this hill, and a lot of houses that kind of are built on the hill, they look out over the woods that separate your neighborhood from the lake, but you can kind of get that wooded backyard and it kind of looks out over the lake, which is really cool. A lot of those more expensive homes, you know, upwards of $300,000-$400,000 will be kind of up there, bigger lots, more privacy, all that good stuff. But really, I mean, if you're gonna consider this part of West County, if you want expensive, that is always gonna be Frontenac, Town and Country, and some of the newer parts of Chesterfield. Maryland Heights does not come close to that as far as the luxury, you know, the high prices, all that kind of stuff. You're not gonna see that in Maryland Heights. So if you're moving to Maryland Heights, if you think it might be the right fit for you, or even if it's not, if you're looking somewhere else in St. Louis, if you want some help with that process, buying a house, buying a condo, making that move, just shoot us an email, shoot us a text, whatever works for you. Let's get in touch, get that conversation started. But until then, thank you for watching. I appreciate that. Hope you take care, have a phenomenal day, and I will see you in the next video right here on the Living St. Louis channel.